button here. Right, I'm here with Stefan Baker. Sorry, it says Baker in here, but the last name is actually, how do you pronounce your last name?
It's BEATH, B-E-A-T-H. Yeah.
Sorry, I saw Baker there. I guess that's your account.
No, that's okay. That's the Brenda's surname, isn't it? Then it must be the Zoom ID or something.
I read the name. I was like, that's wrong. That's not, that's
and the first name's Stephen with an E-N, not an A-N.
Stephen.
Get that a lot, yeah.
So, okay, so it's more like a V than...
kind of, yeah. It's spelled with PH. So,
PH.
yeah.
But is this
The only right
Stephen? Stephen?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Sorry, I don't want to mispronounce your name, especially get the name wrong. Let's jump right in. I mean, we're doing these interviews for the Ecom Convert group just to try to get back a little bit of insights from profitable store owners to try to help other store owners in the group that either already profitable or on their way to be profitable.
Yeah.
Just trying to share a little bit of knowledge and wisdom with other members.
Well, I do my best. Yeah. Okay.
Awesome. So we have a few questions here. We'll just go through that real quick. I want to, keep it short and concise for people watching this. That doesn't go on for a few hours.
Okay.
First question: What's your background? Kind of what's your story? How long have you been in ecom?
Yeah. Okay. So I've got about 5 or 6 years, I guess, of e-commerce experience. That's running websites for corporates mainly. And I guess that's what gave me the confidence to do our own thing. And we started our e-commerce store last July, and so we've been going about 14 months now, and it's been tracking ahead of expectation. Partly as a result of COVID. I mean, the COVID lockdown, like other e-commerce store owners, probably found as a big bonus for their turnover. But yeah, it's been a pretty good ride for us so far.
I mean, that's great to hear because it's not every store and every niche that is doing well during COVID. There's some niches that really went down. There's some of the ones that have peaked a lot. So, I'm glad to hear that. It's always good to have some success stories,
Yeah. That was a surprise.
Exactly. What's your store? What do you sell?
Okay, so our store's called Kiss and Makeup. It's in New Zealand, and we import big brand cosmetics, and that's how we started. Probably only started with about 100 SKUs or 100 lines. We're now nearly at 1,000 a year later. We do outside of cosmetics, it's skincare now. We're doing hair care, fragrances. So we're really expanding our categories. Each time we look to do an expansion, of course, we do a little bit of testing just to see if there's going to be some uptake before we dive in. And so far it's been working really well. And yeah, the market in New Zealand, for those who don't know, it's dominated in part by those bricks and mortar department stores, and they got a history of sort of charging quite a bit for what they're selling, compared to what people pay overseas. So that's kind of what got us started. Sabrina, my business partner, she comes from England, and she's sort of complained about, I guess the pricing of products here in New Zealand is phenomenally expensive. And so we thought we could do something about it, and we did. So, we started up Kiss and Makeup, and a year later, here we are, 6,000, 7,000 customers later. Wow. It's quite a ride, yeah.
That's a good ride. So, and we'll share the link to your store below.
Yeah, cool.
For people interested in taking a look. But so you said you started the store 14 months ago? Is that what you said?
Yeah. There was a few months of planning, but essentially at the beginning of last year, I found myself at the end of a corporate career, kind of a bit tired of doing stuff for other people. Okay. And talking to Sabrina, kind of knocking around some ideas about what I could do next. And that's where the conversation about how expensive, makeup is. And I had that background anyway in e-commerce. So I thought, well, why not give it a go? Set up a company that imports and sells direct. So a few months of planning and that sort of thing, we finally kicked off in July last year. We probably could have kicked off a bit earlier, but I don't know, if you've got that sort of perfectionist background, you kind of want to keep making things better, and that sort of held us up a bit, and perhaps we could have gone sooner. Sure. We finally just let it go, and it's worked out well.
Okay, so within about a year, minus the not talking about the planning before, but let's say during the last year, since last July, what kind of results have you But then you don't need to go into specifics exactly how much sales.
Yeah. So we won't talk metrics like that, but yeah, look, it's surpassed expectation. We had the big boost from COVID that really probably doubled our turnover. And since the sort of we had lockdowns here in New Zealand in April, they finished in about May, and the turnover sort of maintained and now started to grow from there. So it wasn't like we doubled and then lost all our gains. We sort of held on to those gains, and I think a lot of that's around the exposure we got to customers who came across us as a result of COVID. They couldn't go into the bricks and mortar store. They realized, hey, this is a real deal. What we're offering is legitimate product, and it's just a lot cheaper. We can deliver next day in most cases. It's a phenomenal offer, and people just love that and love what we do. So they keep coming back, and it's just a word of mouth thing now.
So good brands, good products, and
Yeah,
good
top
prices.
brands. The service is something we really focus on. So when we look at what our competitors did and do, they're quite transactional. They don't really focus on building that sort of relationship. It's literally for them, it's just take the money, send product out whenever, and that sort of thing. We really look after our customers. When things don't work out, I'll ring people directly. What we do on top of just the product stuff, we donate to trees, so native tree growth in New Zealand is quite important to us. Eco packaging, compostable bags, that sort of stuff, and we put it all together in a message around, the strapline that great makeup shouldn't cost the earth, and we really believe that, and people love it. So when they find out about us, yes, the pricing's great, service is good, but on top, we're trying to do a bit for the environment, and that resonates a lot. So
I know that the millennials and the newer generations are more concerned with the environment. Is that most of your clientele, or do you have?
I'd say because of the brands we carry, we have some millennials, but in terms of our age brackets, more 25, I'd say, to 60, 70-year-olds would be our core audience, female mainly.
Okay.
Yeah, but the feedback we get, and we get a lot of it, is from all, you can tell from their age, the names, that they're older people, but they do like what we're doing, and a lot of people come back because of that, not just the price. Yeah.
No, let's just move on to the next question so we get this
done
quickly.
Sure.
What kind of big mistakes would you say that you've done, that you've made and really learned from? Maybe some insights from those mistakes.
Yeah. Look, so I've thought about this, and I can't pin any. We haven't really, as far as we know, made any big mistakes in our first year when we're both quite experienced business owners. And I'd say the biggest advice I can give, or the learning I've had, maybe not from this business but from others, is maybe consider not doing it all yourself. So there's people out there trying to set up an e-commerce business, and yes, you can do it all yourself. But there's a bunch of skills that you probably won't have, and that you'd really benefit from bringing other people into your team early. Typically in the past, I have tried to do things myself. This business with Sabrina, it's been a real complementary skill base that we've had. Her experience is procurement, consultancy and stuff like that. So that works really well, and getting the products in. And my side was more the e-commerce marketing. So that kind of is a good marriage and skill sets, and of course just helping support each other has been immense. So yeah, that's my advice. The other thing too is we had quite a big challenge through the launch. I guess our son was diagnosed with cancer, so we had to deal with all that. And if it had just been one of us trying to run a business and do everything, it just wouldn't have worked. But we managed to make it work. So the time he had his treatment was a few months, where one of us was out of town getting treatment in another city. And we could keep the business going, just longer hours, but working together. One of us would be looking after the son, would be working the business.
So there's something to be said about having a business partner or a team.
Absolutely, yeah. And I never really appreciated it, but having thought about it and seeing what my friends have done, the successful business owners that I know, they typically are in teams, business partners, and quite complementary skills of different, outlooks, and that really helps.
Interesting. Any tips on how to find winning products?
So that's a hard one. You would have heard, obviously, the rule around 80-20, 20% of your products 80% of your income. I'd say that's probably true for a lot of businesses. You really just have to test and measure, and that's the great thing about online. Everything's measurable. So you bring your products in. Some aren't going to fly when you think they will, and others that you just think, nah, actually end up being a winning product. So yeah, all I can say to other people is don't be shy of trying different products and giving them a go. And it doesn't have to cost a lot of money either, and we'll eventually uncover those that work really well, and you can drop those that don't. So
Right.
yeah.
Is it in your philosophy to always be testing your products? Is it like a regular thing?
Yeah, test and measure. So not just products, but the marketing channels.
Right.
That's huge. Again, it's hard sometimes for bricks and mortar stores to do what we do. The data's not always there for them, but for us, particularly as online marketers, e-commerce businesses, nothing moves online without us knowing about it. There's always a trail. So if you're running AdWords or you're running Facebook, Insta, and all that, you track everything, and pretty much you can attribute all your sales to whatever channel, ideally. And I suppose the success metrics, one of the things that you've got to look for is sort of, I guess you call it direct traffic. You'll see that build over time, and that's what you're aiming for, right? You don't want to be spending money over in a day just down AdWords or whatnot. You want to be building that direct traffic, that relationship, the database with customers, and that will be the success.
Building the brand so that they come directly to you.
Exactly. You don't want to be giving money away all the time.
Absolutely. As the last question, do you have any other tips, any other advice, any calls to action for other members in the group? Anything you'd like to add to this chapter?
I think what I've found talking to other business owners is sometimes a reluctance to invest upfront early on in marketing. And they're kind of quite focused on the cost of acquisition, and they go, oh, well, it's so expensive to do this and that. They forget about the long-term lifetime value of a client. So when we spend money bringing customers in, yes, it can be expensive up front, but you just got to remember, a customer's not going to shop with you just once. If you're doing a good job, they'll keep coming back time and again. And what might cost you X dollars at the beginning, you'll get it back over the course of years. And you can look at that, and you can look at the data and support what you're doing there. It could be you spend $50 to acquire a customer, you might end up getting thousands back on one customer. So that's kind of the approach that we take. We kind of look long term. Yeah, encourage other people to think that way.
Awesome. Well, thank you. I don't want to take more of your time, and I want
no worries, Matt.
Interviews really short, but this was, I think, very valuable. It's the first one in a while. I've done only 3 before for this group, and I want to do a lot more of these. I think it's really interesting topics to learn.
Yeah, I appreciate what you guys do too, what you've been doing. I do follow your Facebook page, and I get insights from it, and just reminders as well, around things I should be thinking about for our website. So it's been really helpful. So no problem. Have a good day, and we'll no doubt chat again.
Thank you so much.
All right. See you later. Bye.
See you.